Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, January 10th, 2012, and this is Talk to Me Tuesday number 24. Um, Wanted to start by saying thank you to everyone for their input when I asked what would be a good prize for um, the giveaway, which will be next week. I will let you know next week the questions that I'm looking to have answered. There will be 3 questions, 2 of which you'll have to get right. Doesn't matter what 2, but at least 2 of them you'll have to get right. And trust me, it won't be that difficult. So I expect everybody will probably get all 3 questions right, but that's cool. But yeah, thanks a lot. There were a lot of really good responses. Kind of saw a pattern there with, one particular thing that people seem to mention the most, so that's cool. Lets me know kind of what people are really liking that I've been doing and stands out the most. So that's good. Plus, gives me a little insight too, so that depending on who wins, maybe there will be a little something extra thrown in with the regular prize that'll be more geared to exactly what they would prefer. So you can still answer the question. That way, it gives me a little more insight for what you might prefer if I haven't heard from you yet. But yeah, next week I will announce what the questions are. And then the following week we will do the drawing to see who wins. So, looking forward to that in a way. Also, I made a squizzle, and it was kind of interesting to see the different ways that people try to spell squizzle, seeing as how it's not something you've seen before. So I think the one we're going to go with is kind of a combination of a few, but I like SQWUZZL. My daughter decided that leaving off the E would make it a little more unique. So my squizzles now have an official spelling, and that is SQWUZZL. So that was cool. And I did show that I was working on another one in a different type of yarn. I did get it finished. And here it is. Yay! Love the yarn. You can actually on this one see the stitches, but it's really neat. The texture there again, it's so nice and soft, and it's bulky. And the one thing I really like about using the bulky yarns for these is it doesn't take much stuffing at all because the yarn itself aids in the stuffing. But there is Peachy Squizzle. Peachy because that's the name of the yarn that I used. And don't ask me, I think it was just Baby Blanket, Bernat Baby Blanket that I did this one with. But it's so soft and squishy. So there's another one. And it's cool because this one actually has more colors you can choose from. Not too many that I'm seeing in, I think I found it in Walmart's. So haven't looked in the craft store. Can just imagine because we all know craft stores charge like way more. But there's Peachy Squizzle. Peachy is done. She's got her little whatever. This is her little information gatherer by the sound of things because they all sit here and go beep, 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 beep. But there she's done. Yay. So she can sit with her friend. Also, my foot is falling asleep, sorry. Did some little crochet work. I did mention in a post that I posted last week in regards to issues I was having with my job, one person in particular. I did mention that I was going to make a pygmy puff. Now, I have no clue, or shall I say had no clue, what a pygmy puff looked like. I know what they look like. Excuse me. I don't know exactly what they do. My daughter said once again, you really need to watch Harry Potter. But I made pygmy puff. Unfortunately, I don't have the safety eyes and the safety nose that it called for in the pattern itself. Wasn't about to take a trip. It's really hard to find them. I think the only place I've really seen safety eyes around here was at Hobby Lobby, I think. I don't even think I saw them at Joann's, but I'm pretty sure I saw them at Hobby Lobby. So it's really hard to find them. I do have another site. It's called Suncatcher's Eye, which, you know, is a good site for the eyes. I haven't really checked out the price. We were having issues with the internet. So, don't laugh. We used squiggly eyes, and I used a fuzzy, like, metallic looking pom-pom for the nose. But here he is. Hopefully you can see him. I know the light really sucks. It's kind of dark outside today. But there he is. There's his little feet. 2 little black feet there. And there's his little face. When I did this one, I didn't like the way it was. They said to close it because it did leave gaps in the bottom. I made another one for my daughter. She'll show you that one, and I actually closed it differently, and it left out all those gaps. And I think I actually made it a bit rounder. I don't know. I don't know what these things are supposed to do or anything about them. I just know I made one. 2, actually. I showed you a cupcake I made out of a kit I bought. I made the donut. They give you enough material for 2 things. Here's my donut. Got a little face. I did the face different. Put some little pink sprinkles on it. It's a chocolate donut. No, it's not edible, although all my kids will sit here and go. But there's my donut. And then on the site that I got the Kokeshi doll pattern from, they have little patterns for what's known as grumpies. And the purpose in a grumpy is when you're in a grumpy mood, they are supposed to take your grumpies away. So this was the first one I made. She got some really like funky hair, but that's the first one I made. And they're just cute little, you know, they're supposed to look grumpy. I didn't quite make her look too grumpy, and she got her hair all up there. Kinds of crazy. And then, of course, my one son wanted one. The one who used to do my editing asked for one. And he likes the color purple, so I made him a grumpy. And this grumpy actually looks grumpy. So that's his grumpy. Got the purple and the hair sticking up out its head. And then me, of course, I like to either shrink things down or increase them. And I decided I would shrink them down. So I took some size 3 crochet thread to work one night with some stuffing. And this was the first one I came up with. It's got the color is copper. It's kind of probably hard to see. I just did one braid for his head, but there he is. You can see the difference in size from this grumpy to this grumpy. So I really like him. I like his face. I did little French knots for his eyes, and I think he came out pretty cool. And then I made a little girl one. And I did the same. I put French knots on for her eyes, but she didn't look right with French knots, so I actually changed them. And she has like this really long hair, so we can coil it around her head or whatever. So there's my 2 grumpies there. And then I decided, of course, I wanted to go even smaller. So I used size 10 thread, and I do believe a size 5 steel crochet hook. And I made, if I can get a hold of her, this little one. Very tiny, itty bitty, little grumpy. She actually doesn't look, well, yeah, maybe she does look grumpy, but that's my little one. And here again, from regular size. You can see it's like half the height and nowhere near as big around. And then even from these ones, she is quite small. So that was my fun this week. Like I said, I like to make things bigger or shrink them down, so that worked out really cool. And I really think that's about it, believe it or not. Just working on little things. Work has been tiring. Just a quick little message. Ulf and Jen, I really, appreciated the post that you posted about my journal post that I did. A lot of people don't think when you're have the responsibility of caring for another human being, it's a lot. Not just physically demanding, but mentally demanding as well. And the people I take care of are so close to death that it's not just dealing with them and what's going on in their life, the things they can't do for themselves, but it's also dealing with the family at times too, because they want the utmost care for their loved one, but they don't realize too sometimes that they play a big part in that. And let me tell you, if you know anyone who's working, taking care of either someone in your family or someone in a friend's family, or just somebody who works in that line of work, just, a thank you once in a while goes a long way. You would be really surprised at just, how much a thank you from, especially a family member. It's kind of hard to expect it from the person you're taking care of, especially if they suffer from dementia. Okay, that has, that's a lot to deal with. But let me tell you something. All you got to do is just say thank you to them once in a while, and you'd be amazed at how much more it means to them than anything else. Because let me tell you, it's not an easy job. I raised 4 kids basically by myself with no help, not even from their father. And let me tell you, I think it was easier raising them than even caring for one of the elderly people that I take care of, because it is a lot. So if you know anybody, just give them a pat on the back, tell them thank you, tell them you appreciate what they're doing, and let me tell you, it'll mean a lot more than anything else you could do. So that being said, thank you very much, Ulf and Jen. That was like a really cool comment. Thank you everybody else who acknowledged the fact that I had just about had it. So I think that's why I do as much crafting as I do. It's just like a release from all that builds up, and I love to see the little things I make. So anyway, next week, if you're watching, 3 questions. Only got to answer 2 of them. I will not make it that difficult, trust me. Look forward to it. If you would still like a little input on what you might like, just in case you happen to be the winner, that would be cool, because then maybe there might be a little something extra thrown in there. So anyway, I think I'm done. It is actually 11:22. I am going to make an attempt once again to edit this video by myself. Here's hoping that it comes out a little better. Everybody says, oh, it wasn't too bad, but, I don't know, compared to what my kids were doing, it looked kind of, So let's see what we can do this time. And for me, it's good night. For you, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I hope it's a great one, and I hope everyone has a wonderfully crafty week, a wonderfully crafty weekend. I look forward to the videos, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Goodbye.